All right. And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 34. And it's another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. Lots and lots of gaming news to discuss. So we're going to get right into it. And of course, we're going to introduce those usual suspects at the round table. My co-host is missing. Hopefully we can find out what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully work or whatever.
It can move.
Stop it. But we're going to get right into it with the rest of the lords. And of course, the most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience. This week online. No Illuminati this week.
Raid ready.
Yes, sir. Raid ready. I took him through his joint, man. It was ill.
What?
Yes, we did that nightfall. I don't care what nobody says. Yes.
Wow.
I've done three nightfalls. So.
Yeah, you did more nightfalls than me. Bobby, Lord Sovereign. How are we doing, sir?
I gotta ask you a question on that nightfall in a second, but go ahead.
Yeah, doing better than last week. Definitely doing better than last week. I'm still a little bit under the weather, coughing up a storm, but midweek I sounded like Barry White. So
sexy. Yeah, just grown and sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy.
I'm still a little froggy, but getting there.
We recovering now. Now we recovering.
Yeah, I got the real drugs. That's what I needed. The drugs.
That's what's up. And of course, we have the excess gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord who is a man of his convictions and demands nothing less than a premium experience.
Ooh.
Beloved Lord King, how are we doing, sir?
We're doing fantastic. Oh, I got a lot of stuff to get into this week. Well, we had I don't want to say minor because they're not minor. Combat sports last night, and you had Chris Eubank Jr. He got into his fight. His knockout was spectacular on his overmatched opponent. Again, the way they're matching this kid, I don't think he's gonna have a stern test until he actually fights a named fighter. So but I don't know if the UFC had anything. Please pardon me. Last night
I can comment.
Yes, I need you to kick in on that because I go back and I look at it. Yes, sir.
I was the Lord of Combat of one combat sport one night.
Yes, sir.
I was watching too. I was definitely watching too. That was
I was testing the lack of gallbladder to see what I was capable of at the bar.
Oh, okay.
Just shout out to Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. Oh my,
Lord.
He did it. He fought. It was good.
Yo, let me tell you, man.
Oh my Lord,
underappreciated champion in the history of UFC. He did a move last night, King, that was so crazy.
He did a King Tekken move. He did a Tekken move.
He did. You know how somebody grab you from the back and throw the back flip, like they're gonna do the back slam to you?
Yeah.
He was about to do that, then in midair, lets go, and then grabs the dude's arm and do some wild arm bar I've never seen before.
I gotta see it.
You gotta see it. It was pretty much.
It was a German suplex into an armbar. It was
crazy. I've never, in the history of watching combat sports, I've never seen anything.
Shout out to Mighty Mouse of the UFC, ring a ding and dinging it up. I definitely gonna check that out because the king is the king of the combat sports, baby, and I don't discriminate. I love it all. Sovereign, I got a question. Was your nightfall experience with these other people, other than myself, as premium as the nightfall experience I took you through?
No, I have to say, we got in there and it was just it was surgical. It was definitely surgical. I was with Lord King. I was with Lord Addict, and Lord King and Lord Addict the first time through, and it was just it was surgical. It was very
surgical.
It was in and out. It was in and out.
That's what's up.
Yesterday, one of the light falls we actually failed at towards the end, so I'm upset about that. But that was the second time through. But
okay.
Man, those night falls are no joke. I don't even want to know what a prestige looks like. But
yeah.
Shout out to Sinister. They run them every time like it's clockwork. Yeah,
and excited to get into that raid too because I've been cheating. I'm watching videos. I want to be as little of a burden as possible.
Do that.
Actually do that to prepare yourself. That's actually okay. Yep.
Yeah, do that. I mean,
Definitely
it's nothing like getting your feet wet in a situation. Like I said,
No,
listen, I'm ready to run it. Shout out to Brap. Brap, check this out, bro. I told you I will delete one character to start fresh with you, get the grind on with you. I saw you, get the commitment to the game. I'm down with you, brother. The king will come through and run through with you 100%. I need a Titan anyway.
Shout out to Brad, man. Definitely joining up
Channel
and
5 family.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Sir.
He's playing. Yeah, and we got Channel 5 and all the affiliates. That's gonna help.
Sir. Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. So of course it is our Lord Cognito here, spreading that gaming realness on the ILP. Telling you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So like Lord King already said, like for me last night, I definitely got a little bit of UFC in. It was kind of fun. And let's get right into what the Lords have been playing. So Sav, besides Destiny, have you been touching anything else?
Yeah, besides Destiny, it's just been on the Switch. Like this past week, we got 2 2016 indie darlings that came out on the Switch, the Stardew Valley and the Axiom Verge. Both of those games fantastic, and I think both of those very much at home on the Switch. Axiom Verge, this is the second time I'm buying it. I bought it on Vita and PS4 cross-buy, and I got like halfway through the game there. But once Sony stopped supporting the Vita, I lost interest in continuing to play on it. And I have a huge library. And again, the indies are still being supported on it. Japan is supporting it. But once the company proper stops supporting it, I just lose the love for it. So as soon as I saw it on the Switch, I picked it up. It's a fantastic Metroidvania style game.
Okay.
Fantastic game. And then Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is like crack. It's one of those.
Tell me about this Stardew Valley. I keep hearing about it everywhere. Shout out to my peoples over at Nintendo Voice Chat. I seen them talking it up. Shout out to Kai Box.
What did you say? That's an oxymoron. He said
I
Nintendo.
know. That's what's so funny about the podcast because it's called Nintendo Voice.
Oh, it's the Dream Channel. It's a Dream Channel.
No, they're literally clowning.
It's the IGN. It's the clowning thing.
Okay. Yeah. They dreaming. They got that.
Oh my God, you're terrible. Yeah, man. So it's like I'll see people talking about it and they're saying like it's all these gaming systems and there's even like a date simulator in it. So please tell me about this game.
I mean, it's basically the game was created by one person. Same with Axiom Verge. So that in and of itself is an achievement. But it kind of harkens back to games like Earthbound and Harvest Moon, where it's basically it's a farming simulator. You're basically in a town and you're trying to build up your farm, so you're planting stuff. And at the same time, it's like it's a town, so you're interacting with everyone. You're trying to get married, like you're trying to date and stuff like that. It's kind of a farming / life simulator, and like the systems. Very cool because you're breaking down things in order to get other things, so it has elements of Minecraft, like I said, like Harvest Moon and Earthbound. It's an RPG, but with all of these other things intertwined. And again, the fact that it's one dude who made it, it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, that's dope.
And same with Axiom Verge. So, I mean, support that game. And again, it's right at home on the Switch. It really is. An Axiom Verge, same thing.
Okay. So, Lord King, what have we been playing besides Destiny?
I got in my Destiny and Cuphead here and there. But shout out to Requendo. He asked me the other day, is Microsoft where's those games that they saw the indie games at E3? And what I was trying to tell him is that they're dropping them out little by little. Like this one game called and it's a very visually stunning game. I think it's called The Broken Planet.
Raiders of the Broken Planet. I was playing that a lot during E3. Yeah.
Raiders of the Broken Planet. All right, so that game is out now. If you want to go to the store, it's free to play. But then it has the microtransaction, and you could buy stuff to set up other stories and stuff like that. But the gameplay mechanics, Sovereign can attest to, is pretty decent. Graphically, it looks fantastic on your television. Yeah, you have the cover-based system and a nice deep combo system, fighting system, and it feels like that. What was that? It wasn't Ghost in the Shell. It was I forgot the name. Ghost of something. A game that never came out. A StarCraft game that never came out.
Okay.
That everybody wanted. Yeah. It gave me that feel.
Okay.
But
that's what's up.
Yeah,
for me,
really good. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so that's good. It's all good. Yeah, so you want to say something?
Yeah, in the chat, Karachi was talking about Battle Chasers. I know Battle Chasers out.
Oh, that's
soon.
what I'm waiting for. Yeah. I'm waiting for that.
Definitely out soon, and that, I mean, we saw that at E3. That looks fantastic. I'm waiting for the Switch because that's where I know I'll play the game.
Oh, so you don't know if it's out on Microsoft and PlayStation because they're supposed to drop first. I got to check the store.
They're definitely first. Yeah.
Okay, but you know what I don't like about Microsoft and listen, that they need something else. Like if I was going to have these indie channels, right? What I would do is I would take a survey from people and have them check. I'm down with fighting games. I'm down with driving games, whatever. Right? Those games. Right? Let's get a list out. Right? Role playing, whatever.
Yeah.
And those indie games that come out, you get a flash on your screen like a bar. This game just came out. Like Highway Kings just came out. 10% discount because you're a driving enthusiast. Right? And that way, these games came out. And you can go to the marketplace straight to it. Click on this, boom. Oh, this game.
Yeah, like I know what you're saying. It's like a segment. It's not a clear cut way to kind of find and identify. Those titles. That's a good point.
I mean, that's Live Arcade, man. I don't understand the need to get rid of Live Arcade. That was perfect. That was a perfect segue right into that type of game.
Shout out to Lord Victor in the chat. He's saying that Xbox plays their cards right. They can really push indie games with the X, and Battle Chasers is out. Yeah, they just got to do a better job of like letting, giving people the avenues on how to get there, like to showcase these games. It feels like you kind of have to drill down to all these, like you really got to go out your way to search for like those type of games, I feel.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that,
Not at all, especially now that they're the ones that are pushing it. Them and Nintendo, I mean, because right now, Sony, with all their comments about not needing them anymore, so they're not putting them to the forefront. That's Microsoft's chance to jump on it, because regardless to what, you're not going to have AAA releases all the time. You need something in between. You just.
But if you looked at their pedigree in the beginning, was showing all that indie stuff. We're the king of the indies. But now, once you've made it to the top, you have reached that mountain peak. You're like, get off me. We only do AAA, stinky. Step away from me, stinkies. So. I got a thing to get into with Sony. It's gonna be just an added piece to my topic. And it's a bad day, gentlemen. But I'm gonna get into that.
We're gonna get into it. Yeah. No doubt. So for me again, it's been like repetitive. It's been Destiny 2 all day, every day, pretty much on Xbox, and then I've messed around, of course, with the 2K. They got a patch just came out fixing frame rate issues for the Switch. So I was very happy about that. I'm blazing that. Shout out to Lord Ackerman in chat. He found me, caught me out there blazing. He posted my my gaming activity on Switch. Was kind of funny. So I was laughing at that. But I'm just getting ready for all this October Broketober. You know what I mean? We know we got that coming. All these games, and we're gonna get into all of that. So man, let's get these topics rolling. So I'm gonna set this thing off. Obviously the theme of this show is the Destiny 2 Civil War. But before we get into that, let's just talk about the weekly update at Bungie. So obviously they started off, they talked about faction rally. Shout out to Dead Orbit, you bastards. Winning the faction rally. I heard it was close. They won by a margin of 2 million. So
wow.
Said a margin of 2 million was close.
Yeah, considering the community. They said New Monarchy was a close second, and Future Warcraft surprisingly was third.
Seriously, man. Yeah, I don't understand that one, but man, I'm actually Latte Warcraft, so I'm down.
Yeah, I gotta throw shots at Latte Warcraft because there was a cheat that was out during that time, that faction rally, that allowed them to farm faction packages infinitely and everybody else couldn't.
Oh, really?
So as Lord Howard would say, look at them now.
Even with the cheat, I told people from before, like, Dead Orbit was such a movement in the first Destiny that the movement was going to spread, and it spread, baby, like rabies.
Dead Orbit was always my first, faction. I mean, the colors, the logo.
Emo, baby. Emo.
I'm done. So that was the faction rally. Talked about that. And then they announced the first Iron Banner. It's going to be October 10th, 2 a.m. Pacific. It's going to end the 17th. It's going to be Control, so classic Iron Banner style. Now, they talked about what's going to be different. They said it's going to be obviously the 2 teams of 4 players instead of the 6, which we kind of expected. We knew that they've kind of went to this 4v4 balance mode. Now, they made some other changes. They said your fighting abilities, not your power levels, will decide the outcome. So that is different because in the past, Iron Banner has always been
power.
You've always tried to get in there with the highest light. Now, the differences in damage are negligible, sometimes 5 to 10%, depending on the rank, but it was always something that was kind of used to it. So that's a big difference. The other difference is the bounties and ranks have been replaced. So before people who haven't played Iron Banner, they would be these, like Solve, it would be these bounties, and like you have to basically try to achieve them with different levels of play. They'll tell you what each one. So now those are gone, and I believe you just play and you kind of get like the tokens again, like the engram. So that's a little different. So that was the first thing that they noticed. They also talking about seasons. They showed the Iron Banner gear, which looks sick. I can't front.
Oh yeah,
very Shogun, very samurai. Can't front on the gear. The gear looks great. There was a rumor that there was no weapons, but Bungie has confirmed that there will be Iron Banner weapons. And for the non-PvP people, there's they talked about the Leviathan raid, and they talk about the prestige mode. So they're saying that recommended for that is 300 to jump in on that one. You know what I'm saying? 300 off the rip. They're talking about that's going to be the ultimate challenge as far as what's concerned. Now, I'm going to get right into it. And there's a civil war going on right now, y'all. If you hit Reddit is really salty right now. The hardcore are not feeling these changes. The first thing they want to talk about as far as like Iron Banner, obviously with the power level, they're feeling now there's no point, it's overly casualized. Everyone gets a trophy kind of bit. That's how they feel. As far as the raid itself, they're saying that, it's fun, but they're saying that the loot, because in the past, when you do a raid, you'd get, let's say you get a chess piece. The chess piece would kind of help you do something, a mechanic in the raid better, right? It would give you assisted, maybe a 2% boost while you're running around doing
with
X,
the
Y,
orb, yeah.
Exactly. So whatever mechanic was in the raid, usually the raid gear was kind of tailored to the mechanic to help you or give you some type of buff, right? So none of the gear kind of has that, and they're really infuriated about that. They're talking about a lot of it is also the grind. So I'm going to bring this to the Lords first. Let's actually start. I want to start with Saul first. The only reason I want to start with Saul because he's Destiny 2. This is his new baby. He's jumping in. He's what we would consider the casual.
A dirty casual.
The dirty cash. So we need to know, like, based on these things that you've been hearing so far about the hardcore being upset, what's your perspective, and do you even care? Because you're playing Destiny. Like, I got to give you your credit. Like, I didn't think so. I'll be honest. I didn't think I was going to keep you, or you would last as long as you've been playing Destiny. I've been seeing you consistent. What's your like 290? What are you?
No, I'm 300.
Oh, yeah, no, Sav is in there, baby.
300 light, baby.
Wow, so you're 300, which is impressive time dedication, right?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, yeah.
Go for it, Lost Sav. This is you. What's
grind for me? I like the grind. I mean, I'm that type of guy when it comes. And the funny thing is that my issue with the first one was that I fell off of it so fast that by the time coming back to it was daunting. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even trying. I mean, no matter, and you guys will always tell me, now you need to come back. You need to come back. I just didn't because there was so much other stuff out. I said, I know the time investment I'd have to put into it. It's not even worth it. So yeah, I made sure to, be on from day one with Destiny 2. And I already knew the grind stuff was going to appeal to me because that's just the way I play games. Like, I've said it before, like when it comes to Assassin's Creed, like I'll clean out the map in Assassin's Creed. Far Cry, same thing. I'll clean the map out. Like that's just the way I play those games. So this appeals to me. So grinding is fine with me. My issue, again, I don't know I can't compare it to how the grind was in the first one. But what I see in this one is that, because I know specifically before, like you could infuse a weapon with any other type of weapon. It didn't have to be from the same class. And the same goes for armor and stuff like that. So I guess they streamlined it in that respect. I don't know. To me, I guess it would be easier to just be able to infuse anything into anything. That way, you could, you get your power level up faster. So I can see a beef with that. In terms of like getting specific stuff for the raids and stuff like that, again, I haven't been in the raid yet, but to me, it just seems like the hardcore is mad that a lot of the little details that made Destiny what it is, like the little side stuff and the little obtuse stuff that wasn't explained, like they're going out of their way to explain more to bring in more people. But I think there's a balance. There's a balance there, because from what I've heard, this raid mechanically is the craziest raid that they put out. Like, in terms of like throwing just crazy, like Rube Goldberg, like mechanical crazy for the sake of throwing it in there. Whereas, like, again, I think they're just trying to draw a balance there, where it's like they want to bring in as many people as possible. Anybody who fell off the first one, they want to make sure that they're enamoring them again. So I think that, again, there's complaints to be had along the way. But again, the game that we're playing right now is probably not the game that we're playing in 6 months to a year. It's just, that's the evolution of this type of game. So
absolutely,
to me, it'll be addressed at some point in time, these issues that the hardcore have in some way, shape, or form. It may not be how they want or how they like, but it'll be addressed.
But it's for you another question, because again, your perspective is unique here. You're playing this game, and it seems like you're having a lot of fun. So it seems like those systems and things that's currently in place, reward wise, they seem fulfilling to you. They seem to keep you coming back. Like, I guess my major question to you, Sav, is what's getting you to come back? Because another reason why I'm surprised for you specifically is you're a very narrative driven type of lord. Like so when I heard you kind of say there was some aspects of the story you were like but you still enjoyed it, you know what I'm saying? But what's getting you to come back specifically? That's what I need to know.
The tightness of the gunplay, and just that loop of seeing the numbers go up all the time. Like any other game, and we'll talk about the loot crates and stuff and more things. There's certain systems within the game that just keep you coming back, and that it's that crack. It's that crack, and this is what they do. So that, and the fact that I'm not at the max level yet, I want to get to 305 now. Granted, once you get to certain thresholds, like once you hit that 260 for the first time, and there's certain things that you'll be grinding for a minute and you won't see any forward progress until like you get the weekly reset, and then you get the new milestones, and you can get more powerful gear, and stuff like that. So there's certain walls that you hit that if you're not invested in the grind, if you're not invested in the loop, you'll fall off in the game.
But there's tricks around that problem.
Exactly, because you gotta run things in a harder mode. You gotta run it with people. For me, as somebody who plays it, primarily solo, I hit that point, and it's funny. Addict told me the other day, he's like, "Aha, you couldn't get any higher without any friends, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Well, you could have got higher without friends. All you had to do was just commit to the second character,
right?
And
And I don't think I'm gonna. I know maybe in the future I will, but I don't think I'll do that. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm gonna be doing that. But and that's what I've heard, that you commit to the second character, and that way, you'll get different stuff, and again, you help each other, because it's all coming from one pool. So
no doubt. All right. Lord King, now I'm going to get the opposite perspective. You
are. Oh, no, you're not going to get the opposite perspective from me. I know I'm an elitist. I know I look at your clothes when you walk in the room. I know I'm telling you your loadout before we do a prestige nightfall. You need this, that, and the third. You're going to stand here. We're going to work it this way. And listen, Lord Sovereign, he definitely 100% knows how to follow instructions and knows how to get it done. We didn't have no problem with our nightfall. We actually finished with minutes ahead. It was me, him, and young Chris, I believe, that did that one. I don't know if it was Addict. It was young Chris, I believe, because young Chris is my running mate, even though he runs in a different clan. What I like this year is that, okay, now all the stuff we complained about before has been addressed. We complained about the shotgun crap inside PvP. They made shotguns a power tool, so you don't have that ammo there, so you're not running around shotgunning, sliding shotgunning. If you get some,
Lord Kai said it was him that was running with you, because Lord King, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, you just made a comment.
Oh,
was it?
Yeah, it was Kaibatsu. Yeah, it was Kaibatsu.
Sorry.
Okay, shout out Kaibatsu.
Sorry, Lord Kaibatsu. We run with many people, and all of us are elitists, so we're interchangeable by names. And
continue.
Trust me, I count you as the elite, sir. Especially with your Cuphead that I have not seen anybody else perform as that level. Your status is secured, sir.
He's a beast.
Yeah, so I like what they're doing now as far as getting the casuals into it, because a lot of times, like Lord Sovereign said, it felt insurmountable. But what they've done now is they have done little sneaky things to get you into a good group community. Now, instead of proximity chat, which I believe that should be next, that if you're in a game chat and somebody's around you, you can shout out to them. But being that we're always in party chat, I wouldn't even know if they have proximity chat, because nobody ever lets me game without being in party chat. I hate that. But those are little bugs on Microsoft point. But like the clan thing, this time it's very important to be in a clan. Like your clan actually means something other than having a name at the bottom of your name.
Yeah, that clan engram stuff is really cool.
Yes.
I really love that.
You know how that helps people out? Because one time, without me even doing a raid that week, I did it, but I didn't do it that day or whatever. I got the raid rocket launcher. So it dropped. I was like, what? I got a raid rocket launcher? Because somebody in my clan have finished it, right? And I guess they got the raid rocket launcher, so that trickles down to the team. I guess there's a chance that you get the raid rocket launcher. You get it at a 10. It drops at a level 10. And you infuse stuff to make it stronger. And various weapons have been shipped to me from trials, from Iron Band. I guess when it comes out, it will be the same thing, and from the raid. And it goes to the appropriate light level on certain things. Like certain things, it'll drop at a higher light level. So it gives incentive to say, oh, somebody say, where did I get this from? And then they'll talk to somebody in their clan, or they talk to somebody in their party, and they say, oh, where did we get this from? Oh, we got this from a raid. Oh, all the gear looks like this. And it gives them incentive to go on the raid. It gives them incentive to do this Nightfall. It gives them incentives to do trials. So I got trials weapons. I've never stepped into trials, but I'm going into trials this weekend just to get it done, because I want to do it. But I love how if you're doing a public event, everybody's jumping in, and then you get friend invites from public events that your work did out so well.
Very cool. I have to admit, they really revamped public events to a great place. I personally enjoy doing them. I'm not gonna lie. That's the one I hated. Public event. Like, it was nothing worse than that. Like, but this, to me, I agree with you. Like, it's really fun, and then like they're really raining loot down. You can even get if you proc the heroic, you can really get that going.
I got an exotic yesterday from a public event.
Wow.
So, yeah, it happens.
Like if you get the perfect storm going into a public event. Like you make it heroic, you beat the mini boss that pops out on the side, the level of you achieving an exotic is higher. And the times that you beat the public event, sometimes you could beat the public event in seconds if you know the mechanics to get it to heroic and then finish it off. It's beautiful how they've taken our criticisms and it turned it into a positive. They even have a loot cave that they don't care about. That it's there, and they want you to find it. They want you to explore it. It's not dropping exotics, brother. It's not dropping, that stuff. But you can sit there and try to farm it and get some stuff from it. Now,
let me ask you this, okay? Now, like, I'm assuming you're what are you, 305 already, or what are you for the most part? Most your characters.
Okay. All of my characters are 304, 305. I'm in 30.
Gotcha. So for the most part, you've maxed out, right? You got most of your gear. You got most of the stuff you want for the most part. Raids completed. You bang out your Nightfalls. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate for the people who are on the subreddits, the people who are really going in right now. And this is the hardcore. What they're saying is like they're in your position, Lord King. Right? They've got the 305. They've done their raid. They're not in the sovereign zone, right? Where sovereign is like a normal person. If you play at a normal rate, would probably be at where sovereign's at, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we're Destiny fiends, right? We boot this thing up. We play damn near 24 hours. We putting them hours in. So the hardcore was done maybe a week ago, right? Y'all was really done like a week, 2 weeks ago, maybe, right? As far as one character, max light, raid, all that stuff. See, what they're saying is in their mind now, what is there else to do? Because they've already got that. There's really not a lot of differences. And then their main beef is that they don't like that, like, a sovereign hasn't jumped in the raid, but he goes to Hawthorne, he may get that raid shotgun from the engram. Like, basically what they're saying is, like, they don't have any differentiators.
They're not special.
To say that they're special. Like,
they're not
Trials
special. Yeah.
and Iron Banner would say, hey, you got to be nice to get into this, category and to earn it. And their beef is that now that the light levels are gone from Trials, the light levels are gone for from Iron Banner, that they can't, there's nothing to distinguish the hardcore from the casual, and that the casual, like Assault, is just right there on the level. So what do you say to that? Like, and one last point, that remember, like, when Taken King came out and you had the sleeper stimulant quest, right?
Yes, sir.
They had the little extra quests, and you had to do all this craziness and codes.
We got a quest right now. We got a quest for the shotgun.
Right, the Lodge of Acreus, right? And you're right, there is a quest there. But what the hardcore is saying, they're screaming like there's really not enough of that. They've got everything done, and they're kind of mad that there's nothing else for them to do. What do you say?
I say to these little crybabies, these little I need. I can't stand these kids. I really can't. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're spoiled brat. You just got the game in September. Like, really, what do you want, bro? Like, what you want them to give you all the DLC that you can just purchase it and you can max out and you can say, I can't wait for Destiny 3. Man, shut the hell up, man. You know what you do? You don't like the fact that you're 305 right now? Here's a ballsy thing to do. Delete your character with all the gear on it and start over from scratch.
Why they gotta delete their character?
Hey, it gives you something to do, right? You gotta grind back up, right? Right? Delete all your characters, start from scratch. Let's see how truly of a badass you really are. Shut the hell up. I really can't stand them. Now it's about getting your team up. See, I've been so hard on trying to coach my team up that when we're doing things, let's say we're doing the Nightfallers and Anomalies, right? You have one guy that's in the back that hunts for the anomalies. That's the lower light level dudes. So usually the higher light level dudes keep pushing forward and they clear things out. The lower light level dude stays behind, hitting all the anomalies. Bang, 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 bang. As you go forward, you get to the room, you get to the boss, pulls him forward, you handle the boss, right? That is coaching your guys up. Because it puts the onus on the two powerful teammates to clear it out for the guy in the back so he can look unbothered at where the anomalies are. And then,
not to cut you, shout out to Mike Lugo in the chat. He says, stop playing the game every day and getting your level up so high and just enjoy the game.
Exactly. And, people are doing it and they want to be completionists. Like, I did it first. I did it at this level first. Okay, bro, you did. Did you do it with somebody who's never done it before? See, this is what this Destiny is about.
You're right, but counter argument that I have to agree with them on that, just that one point you said, was that like, obviously they got the Sherpa system, they got the guided games, whatever. People are saying it takes like up to an hour to get that going, and that there's really no specific reward incentive for the person, the Sherpa, the person. Like, it's just like, yeah, you did it. I don't know. I don't know what specifically.
They should get an exotic engram.
Like they need to give them something.
Yeah,
like
give them some gold money so they could buy stuff from the chick at the tower who's selling dance moves for ungodly money. Like, is this one dance move that I want and it's ungodly money? I gotta buy it because I need it. Because I need it in my life.
But I cut you, King Side. You were going off on your other tangent.
Nah, it's just the fact that these little spoiled brats, these little millennials, I don't get it my way. Shut up. Tired of you, man. You little babies. Listen, I don't know why Anchorman ain't hit me up that he can get through this stuff, because I see him waving his hand in the sky, but he never hit somebody up to take him through these things. You want to get through something, Anchorman, call the king. I get you through that.
Right now, he's in the chat. He said maybe if these dudes more concerned with getting their credit score up than their light level, I'm done. I'm done.
He took it to real world. He just pulled it out of Destiny and just went over to the real world.
I'm gonna joke. This one, I'm gonna be real. Like, it's tough for me because, as you know, Lord King, but we represent the hardcore too.
But in the beginning, you were super casual.
No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I was very super casual in the beginning. Now that I've become the hardcore,
yep.
Only thing I would say, see, the argument that they're going is that, we're the ones that had Destiny on our back. Right? They're like, we're the ones when they laughed at us for playing Destiny 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, we kept it popping. And I understand that and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to B Money. Yeah, they definitely need to give an incentive for Forgotten Games. And the whole thing is that, there has to be a balance, right? See, the way I look at it is, I got my man Lost Sovereign playing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got Anchorman. If you would have put me in a time capsule 3 years ago for all the crap Anchorman would give me for playing Destiny, like, I got him playing. And it's like, and shout out to B Money, because I know we talked about this on Brat before. Destiny is the only game, if you look at it, that cross-platform people are still talking to each other. Like, yo, where you at? What you doing in Destiny? It's one of those few games where the console war doesn't really affect it. Like, people are just enjoying themselves and having fun. Yo, what's going on? So in that respect, I love what Destiny is doing. If you want to call it being casualized, great. Call it being casualized. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. But in the other respect, I do see couple of things that they're saying that I do agree with. The things I see, like, I miss.
Everybody check in when you come in, please. Check in, hit that like button, hit that share. Let's check it in. There's 16 people watching. I only got 10 likes. Let's go.
Facts. So it's like, I do miss those little sleepless stimulant questions. Like, honestly, you know what I miss? I miss, remember when you used to, I feel like strikes, there was some systems in Destiny 1 that for whatever reason, I don't know why they took out. Remember when we used to play the strikes, Lord King, and you used to have the strike scoring system, and they had the you kill with the different weapons, you get the rainbow, and then you had remember at the end of the joint, you do Omnigol, right?
Yeah.
And then you had the chance to get that grasp of Malak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or that specific gear that was
gear drop that was key.
Yeah. So it gave the hardcore incentive, like, yo, let's run strikes, yo, because we can
need to get this,
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So I know in my heart, I know Bungie's going to do that eventually. I feel they are going to address it. The biggest point of contention right now, just so y'all know why it's so crazy, is because Deej, the community manager Bungie, came out with a comment, right? And because the hardcore were yelling, this is not the hardcore experience. They were going in. And then Deej said, well, the experience, I'm gonna paraphrase what Deej said. The experience for him is about playing with his friends. And, he kind of paraphrased it to that, and they killed poor Deej. This is not Friendstony. This is not give us what we probably they went in.
You know the best part about that?
What's up?
They're customers. You can say whatever you want to say. You are a customer. You purchase. So you have the right to yell at the top of your lungs, and maybe they didn't hear you, because that's, I'm not gonna lie. Bungie is probably one of the best companies at listening to us. So if you scream loud enough, that special loot that you want per strike will fall. I think our cup runneth over. I think they've tried new mechanics and they want to see how this works, if this is broken. Even our weekly updates that we get right before that we everybody notices it when they go in, they got to update, has been shorter. The times have been coming shorter and shorter to get back into gaming.
Right.
So they listen to our complaints, and they are active in fixing our problems and trying to iron out things. If it doesn't work for the Destiny whole, I don't think it'll be there. But when it does, it'll work.
I agree. Shut up. Okay, Losal, you want to say something?
Yes, like I said, like I think the game that we'll be playing in 6 months is different than what we're playing now, and a lot of that stuff will be addressed. It just, it takes time. They started fresh, and they had a base that they knew people liked, so they tried to stick to that as much as possible. They tried to change what people didn't like as much as possible, but it's an evolution. Like, it's just gonna be, some people are not. You're not gonna keep everybody happy all the time.
Right.
So I'm sure there'll be something in the future that we won't be necessarily happy about or whatnot.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And shout out to Kai, and look how about in the chat. He's basically saying that they want to get the new foundation set before they start throwing that in. And I agree with that. I definitely think that. Yep. And the new foundation is great enough because, again, I just love all these new people playing Destiny. I really do. It warms my heart, you know what I'm saying, to see people who, don't play Destiny playing it consistent and having that passion for it. The only issue I personally have is that when they have systems that were already in place that work, aka private matches, why weren't they at launch? They were already there. You know what I'm saying? Aka strike specific loot. That's the only thing that frustrates me, because it's like, okay, you guys had, like, towards the end of the Destiny 1 cycle, they was on it. Right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, why don't you just build off of what you had there?
Yeah, like, you gotta have that off the rip, off the foundation. That's the only thing I give. Now, as far as all that grinding and people mad, like, shout out to Lone Anchor, man, he made a good point. He was like, so you guys want the old game that you complained and bitched about the grind, you know what I'm saying, back now in Destiny 2. Like, you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that he's saying that, because this is, for all intents and purposes, the better game. Now it's just a matter of making the little refinements, doing what you got to do.
Yeah, fixing it up, tightening it up.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I got on that. But y'all got to leave Deej alone, man. Deej is good people. That's my peoples. I know Deej listen. Y'all got to stay. Yeah, literally, they went off on Deej, bro. The 1% was not playing. They wasn't having. They had their pitchforks out.
Leaders, we hate you. You took away our grind that we complained about before.
Yeah.
maybe the timing of it, because like I said, they wanted more information, but they also said they're going to do real quick, shout out to Bungie, that they're actually going to do they have a Twitch event coming up, I believe October 20th, and they're going to talk about those seasons in Destiny 2 and how things are going to change from season to season. So as you see, like if you look at your clan engram, right, and you'll see like each level, when you get to level 5, you get this, you get that. Now apparently that's going to reset. And it's going to be different things and more things to expect, so it's going to change from season to season. So that actually is pretty exciting to me. It's going to be, I believe, at the TwitchCon on Friday, October 20th. Make sure you guys tune in at the Cool Cat Theater. I love the name, the Cool Cat. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be there. It's going to be fun. That's what I got on it. If any of the lords want to finish that up, on Destiny 2, you guys good to go. All right, no doubt.
We're good on the crybabies.
All right, 1%. Just chill. Give him a little time. 1%. That's all we say. I feel y'all.
He's nice with his title for you. The 1%. like you milk. Yeah, you spoiled milk. You spoiled milk.
The spoiled milk too. I like that.
Crybabies.
So let's put this over the Lord's song. A lot of loot crate talk going on in these streets. So what's going on? Talk to me. What's going on?
Yeah, man. So what I want to talk about today is the apparent obsession that gaming has right now with loot crates. Mm-hmm. It's kind of getting to a point of ridiculousness. And some people have seen it coming for a long time, and I honestly haven't really been paying attention to it, but it's kind of crazy. So I know we spoke a few months back about the introduction of loot crates into Shadow of War and what that might mean for how the game is developed and how they try to implement that in the game and how that would affect how the game plays, and the same thing for Forza 7 when we spoke about that a while back. So now my question to Lords is, now that the Shadow of War reviews are out in the wild and people have gotten a chance to touch it and play through the game and see the systems at play, and the same for Forza 7. Forza 7 is out already. Shadow of War coming out Tuesday. What do you guys think of the implementation of these loot crates? Are they kind of predatory? Are they
I got a question just to back you up. I just got a question because I've heard about it. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I know about the Forza stuff. You gotta educate me on the Shadow of War stuff. Like, I still don't understand specifically how this is implemented in Shadow of War and why are people going crazy about that? If you do, so break that down for me.
Okay, so I'll break it down game by game. So let's start with Shadow of War. So Shadow of War, basically, they introduced these loot crates that you can purchase. You can actually find in game, or you could purchase them through this kind of storefront, this new storefront that they implemented. Now, the issue with this is that, like, the issue that a lot of people have with the loot crate systems in a lot of games as they're being implemented is that they're not limiting these drops and these loot crates to just cosmetic stuff. They're giving you XP boosts. They're giving you gear, armor, weapons, and in the case of Shadow of War, they're giving you orc followers. So, and that's the whole point of the game is to bring orcs. So, the thing about it in Shadow of War is you can play the entire game without having to touch any of this. So, in that respect, it isn't super egregious in that it forces you during the course of the game to play it. Now, with people having played the game and finished the game, the beef that people have is that the end game, the true end game of Shadow of War, the real ending of the game is locked behind a mode that is so grindy in its kind of execution that it almost pushes you towards wanting to buy these things to get through it faster. So basically the way it's broken down is that once you beat the game, and it's not a spoiler because they showed you what the game is about. You're trying to conquer like these big fortresses, right? So the assumption is that at the end of the game, you've conquered all of Mordor. You've conquered it, and then you've taken it over. So now the end game beyond that, and this is after the game is quote unquote ended, now you have to defend these fortresses against Sauron's army coming back, trying to take them back. In order to do this, you need to place stronger and stronger orcs at the helm of these fortresses to keep them from being taken over. Now, you can do this by continuing to grind in game and using the Nemesis system to try to get more and more powerful orcs on your side and then placing them at these fortresses to defend them. Now, if you're not someone who's gonna grind through the game to do that, if you're not that person who, like in the first Shadow of War, a lot of people had complaints about the end game because it just turned into you running around trying to capture every single captain and have the entire army of Mordor on your side. And that's basically what the end game was. And if you weren't into that and beyond the ending of the game, which wasn't the greatest, you had nothing to do in the game. So they're sort of forcing you to go back into the game and kind of be engaged in this constant grind of trying to get more orcs.
Like almost this interactive world, this engaging world that keeps going, kind of.
And from what I'm reading, the orcs have to be really powerful to hold these strongholds.
All right, so let me ask you this question, Soph. Okay, let's just say I buy the hot loot box. Like, what is the loot crate? What is it giving me? Like, if I commit to this thing, what is it? I just get a random roll on an orc. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it's giving you. I'm assuming that if you purchase it at end game, where you're gonna get orcs that should be powerful enough for you to place at these strongholds and hold your forts. I'm assuming that. I'm assuming it scales, but I have no idea. And also, you'll be getting weapons and other drops like that. So the thing about it is, the egregious thing about it is that it's telling you that unless you engage in this mode after the credits have rolled, essentially, you're not going to see the real end of the game. No. And again, the fact that you don't have to engage with it, it's still a positive. But the fact that they made it so that it's difficult for anybody without the time investment to go in and do all of this stuff, to be able to come back and do all of this stuff and be able to see the end game. And this is the thing, like, let's say you put an orc on the fortress and it gets taken over. Well, then you have to go back and try to retake it over. So there's that grind too. So if you can't defend it properly the first time, you have this grind cycle of going back and trying to place another more powerful orc there to try to defend it. So you may never see the end game. Like, you may never see the end game. So again, the feeling is that they develop the game in such a way and that they push you towards buying these crates with the hope that you're going to have a powerful, that you'll be able to get through this. That's not good.
Okay.
That's just not good.
Shout out to Big Money in the chat. He said, y'all can blame EA for the whole Loot Crate nonsense. It started Madden Ultimate Team, then 2K adopted the VC, and my team packs now is going wild in these other games.
And it's going wild. It's going wild in single player games. And again, the thing about it is
so weird, like single player. Like, that's why when I hear this,
awesome.
Here we go. I hear premium talk coming.
Awesome. But to see, I don't mind the premium, because the thing is, if he wants to use an amiibo a million times, you know what? You pay for that amiibo. You paid to put that amiibo in your case and look at it. No. I'm just saying, like,
don't put my amiibos down with that.
I'm saying, though, I don't have a beef with that. I don't have a beef with that.
Because this is where amiibos is not the same. Okay. Amiibos is a toy. Okay, it's a visually stunning baby statue.
Exactly.
Right? Of something that you love. You may not, you know, the best part of Amiibos is somebody can go inside the store. Let's say a parent goes inside the store. They don't know anything about it. They don't even know what game system it goes to. Those look cute. I'm going to give them from Tommy. Tommy has it, and he's like, wow, this is cute. I had Amiibos, and they didn't do anything. I had it for a while. When I got my Switch, I found out they was actually magic. So the Amiibo thing is, listen, these are toys and they're cute. You can put them around your office, you can put them around your house, you can have Mario in the corner here and there, and they actually are functional in a game that you might play later on. These loot crates, they're not physical.
That's the thing. There's nothing physical attached to them. That's nothing. They're disposable, they're burnable, and you have nothing afterwards. Like, that's why I don't have a beef with Amiibo, because Amiibo, you have that. That's for you. The nice little statue in your house.
When you say this stuff, it's like one time use, boom, we out.
That's it.
That's the beef that people are having with the Forza. So now when it comes to Forza, Forza has always had a credit system where, depending on how you do during the course of a race, you get X amount of credits, and you can use those credits to purchase more cars. This is a loop they've had in games.
Shout out to Brad Podcast. We talked this with B Money, you know what I'm saying, Brad, what you call it, Mr. Negative himself. We had this. Now I understand the Forza joint, because the Forza, how it used to work, like we talked about, was that you basically, if you turned off driving assist and all that stuff, you would give you the ability to earn more credits, right?
Right.
And then now with the VIP, like the VIPs would have like this extra boost, so to speak, right?
100% boost.
Right.
And then they would be able to get, you know, a little bit more. So they thought they were going to get grandfathered in with Forza 7, right? And come to find out, it wasn't.
It was 25 times you used it, and it was over for you.
It was over for you.
So
now I heard,
but if you purchase on the premise of thinking that it's going to carry over, and this is misleading here, because I understand where the community will get upset with this, that you assumed, and it's really on you for assuming, because it was not in the fine print, but you figured that you've done this for years, it should also carry over. They cried about it, and they got it back to the unlimited status. All right, you're 100% unlimited. You can use it a million times if you want. They didn't understand. They didn't think, or they was trying to be shiesty. Anytime these companies try to be shiesty, pull their coattails to it, and they will backface and get you what you want immediately.
Now, shout out to Turn 10 for actually doing that, because they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to reverse course and throw that back on. But we do know that Shadow of War and now I'm hearing Assassin's Creed is down with the loot crate.
Assassin's Creed and Star Wars Battlefront Battlefront. Well, and I think
Star Wars lends to that, though.
Yeah, but Battlefront is really egregious. Like, anybody who's played the beta over the weekend.
I love when Saab says egregious. It makes me
because
he knows it's really bad.
The Battlefront thing is kind of nuts. And again, I haven't played the beta, but from what I've been able to read, and shout out to IGN for having an article that kind of blows this out a little bit. So apparently they have the same thing, loot crate system, that contains upgrade cards within those crates. in addition to, you know, whatever, you know, weapons, ability upgrades and stuff like that. And all of this stuff has real ramifications on how you do in multiplayer. Like you apply this stuff and you're immediately more powerful than someone else, right? So the thing is, these hero cards, these upgrade cards, it's all dependent on the amount of cards that you can equip at any point in time is dependent on the amount of cards that you have. Meaning, if you open more crates and pay for more crates, you'll have more slots to use during the game. So let's say that, you know, whatever, 10 slots, right? You can't access 10 slots worth of card bonuses until you open X amount of crates, until you pay for X amount of crates. So it is straight up pay to win. Isn't it? They're not really even hiding it. And it's like, oh man, like, and again, the fact that they have
cell phones.
Yeah,
blame cell phones for this.
It is the humans' need to see the numbers constantly going up that kind of that has these systems in place. And I understand we've talked about this in the past, and shout out to Phil Spencer for trying to find alternate ways in which to monetize single player content where it doesn't feel ugly. And I know he's talked about, you know, putting games on Game Pass and stuff like that, ways to make it so that you don't have to have these systems in particularly single player games, right? I understand that these games are expensive to make and are only getting more expensive to make.
Right. Let's talk about let's play devil's advocate. Let's talk about the reality of the business. You know what I'm saying?
Let's be real.
Yeah, because that's a factor here, right? And people are spending that money as much as we complaining. Shout out to B Money. Shout out to Mr. Megadeth from Super Deformed and all that. We was on it. They are putting it in for a reason. Like they know people. It's the same thing with VC. As much as I can't stand it, I fell victim. Let me tell you, the King, I was in there on the Switch, right? Let me just tell you a quick story. I'm in the Switch, and when NBA 2K start off, you go to 145 Park with your brown shirt, right? I'm a level 60. I'm coming in there. Dudes got the foam posits. Dudes got the jerseys. You know what I'm saying? Like, they real wavy. They got 87s under their name. I'm getting killed in my first 3 games. And then they'll make it worse off. The progression is so small when you win a game, when you get credit. Like, it's so the game is purposely pressuring you.
It's like built for that. It's built around that.
Built into the mechanic. Like, it's so bad that I believe there was a review out there that gave it a 3 out of 10 because he's like, this game is forcing me to buy because I can't enjoy it. And it's sad, but that's where we are now. Like and I felt it. I was like, no man, I can't be getting killed like this. Yeah. So I might have went over to the Foot Locker and copped the pennies for my character. You know what I'm saying? I might have went over there, got a little Nike swoosh jersey, short set. You know what I'm saying? Like make my man look a little, you know. I might have did that.
I'm adverse to doing this. For paying for content that I think that should be implemented. See, it's a whole perfect storm that brought this about for us. Okay, the internet and the fact that people figured out that developers figured out that they can ship a game to you broken and they can patch it, right? So so they said, okay, that works that way. Also, we can deliver constant content to the games on a weekly or to day-to-day basis, right? Oh yeah, that'll work. We can charge extra for premium stuff. That'll work. Oh, what about if we give them something that we can charge for that makes the game a little bit easier? That'll work. And it's gonna get to the point. Well, once they did free to play, and that was the phone model, you get the game for free. You get to a certain point in this game, this little puzzle game where you need more time. You had 2 more moves and you could have finished this off. So you purchase extra time in these little coins or whatever you need to purchase. And a little menu pops up. Hey, you get 25 decos for $1.99. And you say to yourself, that's a small margin. If 1 million of you people have this game, and 1% of you million purchase this $199 item, brother, they are raking in the dough. All right.
Hold on, a new challenger has appeared. Lord Attic.
I'm sorry, you guys.
He's been here for a while. Okay, I
didn't even realize.
I saw when he jumped in.
I have my Bluetooth on my phone, and I just passed out, and I had the alarms going through my headset, but my headset is not on my head. and I worked 12 hours last night, so I got home, and I was probably asleep by 8:20, and I get off at 8 o'clock.
It's so good. We're jumping in on the Luke Chris stuff, but you got any feedback on the? He said the Lord asleep. I'm done, Lord. Can't. The Lord asleep. What's up with you any feedback on what's going on with these Luke Crakes? How do you feel about it? Shadow of War. We know
are people surprised.
Yeah, Forza. We heard Forza reverse course on some. Well, there's still Luke Crakes Forza though, right?
They still have that craziness where it's like
gotta stop, King.
Where now, like, okay, you get
these killing you to try.
I mean, there is one benefit of me missing the beginning of the podcast. I didn't have to hear nothing about combat sports, so
you would be surprised. Guess who was talking combat sports? I had a little segment.
It was about your UFC, and you missed it, Lord of the Sleep.
But so Forza still has Loot Crates, but they just reverse course as far as the VIP, right?
The VIP stuff, but they still have it. So let's say, okay, you want to purchase a certain type of car, right? You want to purchase a certain type of car, like a hot car, like whatever, a hot top of the line Porsche, whatever. So it's in tiers now. So if you haven't purchased X amount of cars in a tier, let's say the tier below what you want, you can't purchase from that higher tier. So you're forced to purchase now cars that you don't even want in order to get to that tier if you want to do it through the in-game currency way. So it's like, once again, so they're like, well, if you really want it, just go buy it.
Shout out to B Money. He put that out there. So basically, like, you can't get the Bugatti off the rip.
Not off the rip unless you're paying that dough.
Yeah, and you got to buy the cars and the levels and all these before them, all these level of cars before it. And then you get, so you wasting credits on necessarily stuff that you don't want.
Yep.
So to speak. Wow, we talked about that too. Brad. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's. You got anything on it?
What do you feel, man? Where you at with this?
I mean, I kind of figured everyone saw this. I guess I was the only one saw this. Like, this doesn't surprise me. Like, not even in the slightest. Probably this time in the next couple of years, we're gonna be paying for sections of games.
That's already happening.
It's already happening.
That's already happening.
You have finished mission 6. Oh, do you want to use your daggers to kill, or pay us $2.99 and we'll give you those daggers? You only use half of that dagger. We need $1.99 to finish that dagger.
You're right. Let's play devil's advocate though. Let's play devil's advocate. What about for the people who say, these games are expensive?
I don't have a problem with this as long as they stick it to cosmetic. But my issue is where are we going to eventually draw the line? That's my issue, because sooner or later, it's that scene. It's like you step your toe in to see how hot the water is, and then you just jump in, and that's what they've been doing for the past couple years.
But this is the thing, that the line has been crossed already, because they're not sticking to cosmetics. Like Battlefront 2, not sticking to cosmetics.
That's EA, man. That's EA.
Not sticking to cosmetics. When it comes
so wait,
to
what EA got? Tell me about the Battlefront soft. What is EA doing?
You can get loot crates, and they give you pieces of weapons. And if you have all the pieces, it will make the weapon, and you can use it. Or is it a card or a legit weapon, Sovereign?
It's a little bit of everything. It's the cards in addition to weapons, in addition to armor stuff and whatnot. Like, so it's probably the worst in that it's true play to win, because all of this stuff, as soon as you get it, you can equip it and run out there in multiplayer and be more powerful than someone else who hasn't spent that money. And like you weren't here to hear this part, Attic, but so the thing is with these card slots, right? You have the amount of slots that you have to implement at any given point in time is determined by the amount of cards that you have. The way you get an abundance of cards is to continue opening and buying loot crates. So there's a direct correlation by how many of these cards you can implement at any given point in time, and how many you've actually purchased. So if you buy $500 worth of crates, you're gonna have an advantage over somebody who's bought none, who's bought 100, who's bought 200.
I've seen the light ever since I played Happy Wars.
Yeah. See, the thing
so
is,
pretty much it's operating. So basically, what Battlefront is doing is operating like NBA 2K. That you can have a distinct advantage over your competition based on how much money you spend.
The bad part is they put you in a situation where it's like, do you either stand for your morals and it's like, I'm not buying this game because of what they're practicing, or do you miss every big title because of loot crates now? Like, it's just like, do you want to skip every game that's coming out now pretty much because of the practices that they're implying, or do you just not play games?
Where do we at with that?
And the thing is, the
we standing tall like Lord King, or we bending knee?
Nah, I'm bending knee. I paid for it already.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? It's
get down and lay down.
Yeah, it's a get down and lay down in effect, because what people haven't noticed, like, it's Beanie Siegel, baby, Siegel Street, bang bang
bang, loot crate gang.
Okay, here's the thing.
Early.
Here's the thing,
like they've been doing this stupidness with the season pass and the DLCs, right? So your normal purchase of a game used to be $60, and you think that's how it goes, but no, you want a season pass. When they started putting season pass for single player games, I knew the jig was up. I knew it was going down. All right, why do I need to play Dead Rising 3 and get a season pass? Like, what was that about? Like, but. Okay, and sometimes you get a season pass for games and you automatically purchase it. Like, I purchased the Injustice 2, and I got the season pass with it.
When it comes down to it, man, I've always said it's like developers make good games. Like, don't make average games, make good games. You'll make that good money. Here's the thing: all these developers want GTA money, and they don't have a GTA 5 game.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. But the way they're making that money, all right, obviously GTA, the base game, is, gangbusters. Anywhere you put that, it's going to sell.
It sold like $2 billion. It made $1 billion in like 3 days. The original.
Exactly.
Well, now GTA Online.
Where's the money being printed, though? GTA Online. And not every game has that, where you have the entire GTA 5 map, the entire world, but it's completely different.
But y'all acting like GTA jumped out the door like that. No, it built a following.
Oh, absolutely. It built.
Yeah,
it jumped out the door into the billions. It literally jumped out the door.
You was not playing GTA when it first came out, when it was over the top.
No, I was talking about 5.
No, I'm talking about the
You're talking about the very, very beginning.
I'm talking about the one that G stomps all the rest to the ground.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm talking about the Genesis. See, what you're looking at is you're looking at a finished product, and you're not looking at the genesis of bringing that crowd up. They noticed by the numbers. They said, how can we keep this going? These dudes, everybody purchased this game, and it stopped at a number. How can we get those 50 million to 100 million people still paying online, baby? Once the online infrastructure was built in, they put in stuff that I couldn't believe. They put in literally shipping keys and selling cars and guns, gun running. Where was the parents at this part that your kid became perfected at gun running? Speaking of
that, no, he's right, man. We was having a conversation a couple days ago about GTA 5, and we were discussing about the heist and stuff. I was like, I don't know, man. I think I make more money running drugs. Like, there's not too many scenarios where that sentence is good.
Yo, all right. Now here's the thing. Let's bring it in though, because it's like we understand why it's being done. We understand the business aspect. We understand it's a success thing, But do we think? All right. Do we honestly think we use that statement? But vote with your wallet. Do we honestly think people are gonna have the willpower to do that?
We the small percentage. The people who are willing to not buy a game are the small percentage.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm not gonna be the minority in this. I'm not gonna not play Shadow of War because of some nonsense they do.
Because of the loot.
I won't buy the loot
from picking up Shadow of War.
I won't buy the loot crate, but I will buy the game.
It sounds like a poll question for next week. That's what it sounds like.
That's our poll question for next. That's where me and Attic are aligned in. I'm gonna get the game. I'm not buying your crap. You could try to peddle stuff to me. It's like driving in your car in the street.
In the
street, and the people come to the window. Just roll your window up. Don't give them no money.
The most effective thing you can do is buy. First off, if you don't buy the game, and you have a huge amount of people, you might just not see that franchise ever again.
And
that's the thing too.
And that's the thing.
And the second thing, it's like your voice.
Then it gotta die. If he dies, he dies.
Your time is better spent on social media bitching at these companies for doing these practices than just boycotting their games.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think
they don't like the chatter.
They don't like on social media when they see the uprise on social media.
That's the only time.
Like what's going on right now in the Destiny community. And let me tell you right now, like they are going at Deej's head. Like shout out to my boy Lloyd Paul Tassi from Forbes. We're gonna get you on the show, baby. Put the tweet out. I saw you liked it. Like we're gonna get him on the show. But the thing is, like he even said, like the 1% is so vocal. And trust me, they see that. Like they watch the Reddit forums. Like people complaining about Destiny and all that stuff is like the top 4 most hottest categories on Reddit. So I think the answer, like you said, Lord Attic, is not necessarily like, okay, I'm not like that's not affected by you saying I'm not gonna buy it to yourself. But if you kind of bitch and moan to like these community managers or Reddit, they look like they do pay attention to that.
To say, look, what's more effective? Not buying your game and only you and maybe a handful of people know, or you being one of the notifications to a community manager getting on Twitter to like 5,000 notifications
and getting about 1,000 retweets on top of it.
Retweeted,
right? Yeah, facts. I feel you on that. But,
look at some of the biggest, changes that's been done in the gaming industry. I mean, look at the 2013 Xbox rephrase. Do you think that would have happened if people just didn't buy the Xbox One? Maybe sooner or later, but it wouldn't have happened so fast.
Facts. This is a good one, man. It's a good moral discussion. Love the input from the Lords. If not, we're going to move on. I also want to, before we move on to the next topic, which is Lord Addicts, I want to shout out to Lord Victor Alstein in the chat. He had a quick question he wanted the Lords to answer. And he just said that his question was that with the fame Cuphead has seen, do you think it will induce copycats from big companies like EA or Activision, like especially like that hand-drawn art style? What are the Lords kind of feel like this?
Well, there's been games in the past that's been hand-drawn. I don't know if people know this, but a lot of Skyrim was hand-drawn too. But it's just that certain artwork. I don't know. Like there are games like PUBG and stuff that other developers will just straight up yank. Obviously, we've seen that with Fortnite, but there is a perspective to where it's like companies don't want to straight out get told that they're copying. You know what I'm saying? And to copy Cuphead specifically, there's not really much, angles they can take to not just be and say, yeah, I copied Cuphead.
It's going to be obvious. It's, Cuphead is a labor of love, man. Like
Cuphead is a one and only game. Like if you copy that, you will be called out.
I need more copying with that. I need more.
Oh, it's a beautiful.
I feel you. Now, what about just like the hand-drawn art style in general? Because I think Lord Victor also made a comment like he would love to see like a fighting game or something like that to that effect, where something is just.
There's a lot more games hand-drawn. People just don't know.
Yeah.
It's just you getting the finished product. I mean, if you wouldn't have saw any kind of dev, updates, some people might not even think Cuphead, might not even know Cuphead's hand drawn.
Yeah, that's true. Lord Saw, where you at with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the hand drawn stuff, especially for fighting games, I would love that. I mean, when you look at Dragon Ball FighterZ, Guilty Gear,
that drawing game from PlayStation, I think that's hand drawn.
Drawn to death, drawn to death. But Dragon Ball Fighter Z. When you look at the Persona fighting game, those games are beautiful. Like, I would love more fighting games in that vein, because that's kind of the middle ground now. Like, where we can't, it's very hard to get pixel art games. You're not going to get too many people, you know, pixel artists being able to create a full-fledged game. It's just too difficult to find people with that expertise nowadays. So having something hand-drawn like that, that's where it should go.
I don't even think it's really, you know, just the art style that made Cuphead. I think it's the humor that's behind Cuphead, the difficulty of the bosses, the humor of the bosses, the humor of the world.
Like, Cuphead is a perfect marriage of all these great things. Right?
Like, you know, I got into a point where I'm fighting literally. I finally beat the robot. Let me make a public announcement. I beat the robot. When I beat the robot on stream, shout out to my stream. You can go look at that. I literally was hyperventilating because I was breathing so hard because, like, I felt like I was having a heart attack. Like, let me be real to you guys. Cuphead legitimately almost killed me yesterday.
It's real, man. I gotta admit, I enjoy your streams. I really do, because it's like, and you know what's also what Cuphead doesn't. Cuphead is the perfect streaming game because it's so difficult, and you want to see if people struggled at a part you struggled at, or how they did something. Like, it really has that little subculture in it too that I like as well. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah. Well, it's a beast within itself. I've always said from the moment that you saw it, you knew it was different, and you hope before you got it, you know, your hands on it, that it would bring everything together. The music is spot on. The colors, even the filters, the black and white filter that you can put it in is spot on. And it harkens back to back in the days, if you are old enough that you remember Mickey Mouse in black and white.
Yes.
And, you know, for the younger generation, you can get a chance to peek into the window of the older crowd in this game.
Lord Attic coming for your neck, Lord Attic.
No, I see him.
You go for your neck. He said you trash. He about the first try. He said you hot trash.
Man, don't make me go compare our achievements again. That's all I want to say. I did that live on stream, and it just made him look like a fool. Don't make me do it again. I will.
Lord Kai popping his chest out. He gonna meet y'all at the finish line. But Lord King, you know what is real quick? Last thing before we move on, is like, because like those cartoons, those old school cartoons that we grew up on, and Tom and Jerry's and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, when you watch the characters just move, don't it just make you smile and laugh?
Yo, like, when he drinks a tonic and his little body goes whoop, 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 whoop. Yo, I laughed so hard inside at myself, because I'm like, yo, that is so spot on.
Even the bosses, like, just to see the faces and the reactions, it makes me laugh. And it's just so beautifully done. But enough for Cuphead. We want to give shout out to Lord Megatron in the chat, my man.
What up, Meg?
Yo, Cuphead's beautiful, man. It really is, and it doesn't. I'm just glad to see a game like this win. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, and I love that it's a Microsoft exclusive too. Like, there's
it's
no other
once a generation win.
Yeah,
I did ask
company,
and they needed it.
I did ask Cal in the Inner Circle podcast last night. Shout out to them. But I asked them, do you guys think that Microsoft should buy this title and make it a mascot?
I mean, it's
too late.
Think it's too late. I mean, but they own it. I mean, they pretty much, it can't come out on another platform, from my understanding.
My thing is, don't franchise it. Don't muddle the waters with it. It's kind of like Incredibles. We've been dying for an Incredibles 2 for years. Like, come on, push it out. But the movie was so good from beginning to end that it never called for it, right? So now if Microsoft, and you know how Microsoft do, they get a franchise and they're gonna run it to the floor. And that's not what you want to see done with this game. Could you put like a Cuphead RPG or Cuphead Fighters?
You don't want that Cuphead loot crate?
That's where it would go.
You know what? Like, the humor of these people, I'm surprised they didn't legitly have a loot crate box in this game.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
Facts. All right, so we got that on Cuphead. Shout out to Victor for that question. That was a good one from the chat. We're gonna move on. Actually, Lord Attic's back in the building, so he's gonna talk about skill level of certain people in the industry. You wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't really to go call any people out. That's not the intention of the Iron Lords. I don't. To me personally, look, I've always considered Metacritic a joke because all it takes, someone could literally go in there, hate the Fable franchise, give that a 2 out of 10 just because they don't like the Fable franchise. Metacritic's going to honor that, and it's going to bring the entire Metacritic score down. So, I've never really understood why people use Metacritic, to validate. I think that's more of like a console war thing. There's a lot of websites that benefit from the console war. Let me tell you guys something right now. Digital Foundry benefits from the console war. Metacritic benefits from the console war. But that's a completely different other rant. So, I wanted to go into, what do you guys think? Do you guys think there is a qualification to, reviewers being able to complete the game that they beat? Or do you think that, first off, that there are, bad stuff going around right now with people cheating on Cuphead. Do you guys think that stuff like that matters? Because I personally don't. Like, the way I see it is like, look, I do think it's a little jacked up that there are some people that, there was the journalist that did the gameplay. I can't remember his name. And some people have a hard time reviewing games like this because, they don't have that install base of people that follow them or they have that pushing of that huge major website. They can get review copies and they can't get past tutorial levels.
Yeah. You talking about the Cuphead dude? Yeah. Shout out to Lord Rain. Put the video out on that one.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that it should be something that is mandated to be good at the game that you at least
Yeah. Go for it, Lord King. You sound like you want to jump in.
I don't like the fact that you have bums playing games. Right? if you're a bum at a genre, stay off that genre. Like, don't tell me about a fighting game and you can't tell me what cancels out a mid punch to a low kick. Don't review the game if your skills doesn't how can I say, your skills doesn't qualify you to say a word about the game. Like, I would say Lord Kaibatsu is the one that can review Cuphead. You understand? I can't. I won't. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, yeah, man. Like, I what boss? Well, I'm playing on regular, sir. I'm playing on simple, and then I go back and I play it on regular after I get down to simple mechanics, and I died 1,000,000 times. I am not qualified for that. So why would you pay somebody who isn't qualified to do that? Don't pay them. Take that money away and give it to gamers who are actually qualified.
I think that the reason you see this so frequent, and people went at Hip Hop Gamer last week for his fiasco. He's a fan of he's a fan and a friend of the podcast. Like, I think hip hop is an exception. Like, obviously, I don't condone what he done. I don't understand why he would stream something like that.
Oh, we talking the cheat code stuff.
Yeah, but like, at least this man plays the games that he beats. There's a lot of journalists that literally will play half the game and do a review. Like, and there's a lot of these things.
They have the gist of it.
With hip hop,
right?
I do feel like there was a point to that. Obviously, I don't know if hip hop could ever do Cuphead, but from someone that I went there to see hip hop fail. Like, I when I went to Kids City, I go there to see him fail.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad you said that because part of my love of watching people's streams because you don't want to see the pain.
But I can understand because hip hop said that he wanted his viewer to see the game in its integrity, the whole game. So I can kind of understand that to a point because
there's no condoning that.
When you die
shout out to Lord BG, who's also a friend of the podcast. He kind of came for hip hop's head on that too.
I'm not going to condone it, but I can understand. Like, obviously, the reason he used is not the reason he did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you would think about it, it's like, if you want your viewer base to actually see that, that game, you would have to use something like that because you ain't doing the shit he done in the short amount of time he did it.
But there's no crutch for that. There's no. You're a gamer, so all right. No magic genie. That was frowned upon in our circles. You had to hide that in your book bag, bro. The fact that you went on air and you aired that out like that, bro, that's a strike against your gaming skills, bro.
That's the part that gets me.
I'm looking right at you with the red eye, bro, and your gaming skills has been called under fire, bro.
Oh man, killing the boy.
I will say one thing.
I love you, hip hop.
Bro,
that move sucked, bro.
Like when it comes down to it, there are certain people out there that claim like they're they're a gift to games, like they're so good at them. And like them people in particular, if they did some nonsense like this, that's when I'll be like, yeah, that's a little suspect.
See, I feel what you're saying. The only issue, reason why. Now, in hip hop's defense, I'm not listen. You know how I agree with what you're saying, Lord King. I'm not trying to sit there and co-sign, but at the same time, like, was he putting out an official review of the game, like review or impression?
I do think he had. Oh, you guys continue. I'll look up that stream and see.
Because here's my feeling. This is where it crossed the line for me, not his actions. I'm just saying, like, a reviewer's actions, because my thing is, as a reviewer, like, if you're going to make a publication, a written thing, you're talking to the community about whether or not you should, you know what I'm saying, get this game. I think that.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. If y'all gonna sit here and tolerate this in this sport, so y'all should tolerate it. No. I'm
talking about reviewing. Yeah, I'm talking about reviewing.
The bell said ding ding. Now, all right, if he is taking performance enhancers, my brother, he is performance enhancing. We gotta red flag this. This is not acceptable on any level. I don't care what level it is.
The stream is tagged. Okay, the first one said Cuphead live review on PC. That's when he was getting owned, because I did tell that he started.
It did say review.
No. Listen, he did start the first stream had no cheat codes in. Then he came back a day later and he did a Cuphead is a hit. Oh my god, PC 4K gameplay time. That's the ones he used cheats on.
Okay, all right. Listen, me personally,
it's an exhibition. It's an exhibition.
Exactly. If it's an exhibition, you can do whatever.
No, you cannot. No.
It's the exhibition.
No, you cannot. No. You know what you do? You put up your receipt. You put up your game genie. You put up your code and say, "I just qualify myself as a true gamer." You are not a true gamer.
He owned it. He did say that.
He put the belt on his chest.
He even came out and admitted to cheating on games that nobody knew.
He admitted. He was like, "Yo," he's like, "The joint is too hard."
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to have fun. So he begged me. So as far as I'm concerned, it's over. My thing is, when you got your people buddies, you
gotta question all his games now. Like, you can't look at his gaming.
I'm looking at his first stream. I'm looking at his. He didn't cheat on that first stream.
You gotta question. You gotta question all his fights now. Like, this dude, we don't know about this man now. We don't know if he's been fortunate in the past. If he's been
I get where you're coming, King. I get it, but
no, it's fraudulent. You worked hard. You trained. You got yourself in there. You did your thing. You beat that robot by yourself with no performance enhancers. But then you look over at that dude and he did it with performance enhancers. How do you feel about him?
Let me finish, okay? And nowhere in that title did it say he was reviewing the game.
The hell with the title.
And he didn't even lie about it. The dude was very upfront. Yeah, I'm cheating. If it was reviewing the game and he was straight up lying that he wasn't.
Oh, so when they come out and they say they cheating, it's okay?
Yo, you know what you're getting into if you watching somebody.
So he should put at the top of the stream, I'm cheating. Watch at your own risk.
Why he gotta write that
at your own risk?
I'm done.
I just feel like people be into, like, what does it matter if this dude's a bad gamer? How is that hurting anyone? This dude ain't
he should bad game himself all the way through the game.
I mean, you just said you playing on simple.
Yo, and I'm not screaming. Did you catch me simple? But did I put a cheat code in to get past anything?
Nope.
I stand on my gamer's merit. Me. Me, I pick up my controller. I did not put in a ABB up down CCW. I didn't put in none of that. I get my game on. If I win, I win. God. But I live to fight another day. This dude actually took the injections and told you.
I want to take it off right now. It's too much right now. But my question is, for the reviewers, right? For the dudes, the Kotakus, the Polygons, the IGN. Oh my God, Anchorman, the cheater. King is the start of the wildfire again.
Let's get off the pop gamer thing for a second.
You brought this in. You brought this to the table.
Well, I get that, and I am saying we going on the detour to the right and not straight.
So let's get back
for the real reviewers. They need to be able to finish that game.
Let's
they need to be able to
finish. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. They need to not be doing
that. I've seen some reviews on YouTube. I'm not going to go into which websites, but they said they were reviewing the game, and I could clearly tell they played the whole game on simple. And one even had the audacity to say this game wasn't on hard. And I seen him playing one of the bosses in the background on simple. Is that okay?
It's in the game. It's in the game. It's a way.
He never came
out and qualified.
Time out. Did he put up there? He cheated. Did he cheat? Did he cheat?
But he never came out and said he played on.
All right, it's a mode that you could play the game, right? It's a mode.
But right? Simple is way easier.
All right. So you push left. Are you upset that he went simple and you went hard, and your gamer skill is higher than his, and he went simple?
No, it's not about that. Like, it's about him saying this game's not hard. But
okay, all right. So you going at this dude that he didn't cheat. You need to go at the dude that cheated and beat it on hard.
So where he said the game was too easy. And was playing it on easy.
He didn't say it was too easy. He said this game isn't as hard as people make it out to be. And I clearly see him playing a boss in the background on simple.
See that?
Because I don't know if you guys know this.
Playing on simple.
I'll go into this after this.
Okay.
And like, and you know, I don't know if you guys know, but if you played on simple, certain phases of the boss don't even.
It's not there. It don't show
up.
So
they don't even have the 3-point phases with certain bosses.
Yeah.
On certain bosses. What you do is, what I do is I go in on simple, I get the gist down, right? Now, when you go in on normal, it switches up on you. But you already got the simple mechanics down that when the normal comes in.
Yeah, you can't beat the contracts without playing it on.
Yeah, you don't get their souls.
Oh,
yeah. No. So no, you need to play it on. My feeling is you need to play the game on whatever the base mode is, where you can get the entire experience. And if you can't finish it in that mode, whatever that base experience is, you should not be reviewing the game.
I feel like any game that you review to that mode, it should always be played like at least on the default settings of like normal. If you're reviewing the game.
Okay, now what about let's switch it now. What about for the people who are putting up reviews that maybe have not finished the game? How do we feel about that?
That's not right, because the thing is, the point of the review is to give an overall feeling on the entire game, and that includes end game stuff. Like if you're giving me a review opinion, my assumption by hearing review is that you finished the game. And you have a full opinion to give me. If you haven't finished it, who's to say that the end game doesn't suck? Like, who's to say?
What if I were to tell you that a lot of the big reviewers already do this?
Well, what you need to do is you stop the trend. You show your game from beginning to end, and everybody will flock to you because you are right. You are 100%. I told you. I jump into your joint. I don't look at it. I click a like on it because I know you're doing it. I know you're actually putting that blood, sweat, and tears.
The robot legitimately almost killed me. Cuphead.
Right. You see? Now, could you imagine if you died and this guy actually did it with performance enhancers and didn't die? How would you feel? No, I'm not letting them go. And I'm gonna hold on.
No hip hop. We're gonna get you on back on the show, man, because this is definitely a hot topic.
He can't defend that. He don't want to go at me with that. He better stay away. Better do something else.
I'm gonna hit him up. We gotta get the man to defend this song, because I don't want to attack the brother without his side.
No defense, brother.
I just listen. There's some people. It depends. Like a lot of people. If you go online to see, certain like YouTubers or whatnot review of a game, unless you've been invested in this person's work up until now, like you want to hear what they kind of have to say about the game. But I'm not necessarily coming to these guys for full on straight up reviews. I'm gonna buy the game based on what they say or don't say. I want to get impressions from these people, but I'm going to the Kotakus, I'm going to the Polygons, I'm going to the Waypoints, I'm going to the IGNs, my Game Informers, my Giant Bombs. This is who I'm going to.
So you're going to the big sites as opposed to the little dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because for the most part, these guys are finishing the game. These guys are finishing the game.
I'm going to these reputable.
I go to YouTube.
Yeah, these dudes on YouTube like Bife that does Destiny. You know, Cactus.
Oh no,
like they are people.
Definitely some people.
I will check out Ryan McCaffrey because you know, certain games he reviews. But besides that, like I think that's the only most of the time I'll look at a review and like I don't respect the reviewer so much. I just see what he reviewed it, like what score he gave it. Like,
it's just I don't know. It seems like somebody is sitting there trying to cover a fraud. This is a fraud. And
I'm
sorry.
There's a difference between trying to cover something and just not caring.
That's why so many games now, like they have previews. They got people writing previews of games a month out, 2 months out. So and these are people who are just playing the game. They're going to give you a gist of what the game is. May not necessarily be the person that reviews the game in the end. Maybe someone else.
So at the end of the day,
different perspectives. You get
at the end of the day, it's on you to take that perspective in hand.
Right. See, but here's the thing, though. Like, I understand what you're saying, Lord Saab, but I think I'm a little bit of the opposite. Only from the standpoint, like, from when we came up. We had the IGNs, the EGMs, the Game Pros, Game Spots, and all that. And then, you know, like what I felt like some of them dudes was in bed with the companies and wasn't saying the real. So now that we have like the YouTube era now, where you got the Cactuses, you know what I'm saying?
Say the wrong thing, you blacklisted for a minute.
Right. And he, you know, shout out to Lord Cactus. He just came on the show like, we know this dude put out good content, but he gonna call it what it is. He gonna put Bungie to the carpet and be like, yo, this is what it is. So sometimes I feel like,
but that's not everybody. That's the thing. They are definitely guys, because then you have you guys who are like quote unquote influencers who are getting the game for early from these development companies, and then they're, you know, it's almost assumed that you're not necessarily going to run it into the ground because they allow.
You're right. It's still happening.
It's still happening. So as much as people like,
I ain't gonna call certain dudes out, but there's some channels that their whole shtick is to hate on something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even. Y'all know when I'm going, and I got no problems with nobody. But I'm just saying, like in general, there's certain channels that's their thing. You know what I mean? And there's certain companies will be like, nah, I'm not putting my joint over there with you because of that, and then they feel away. You know what I'm saying? So I see what you say. You are right, Losab. I take it back. You're right. There's definitely that influence is also now seeping in to the bigger YouTube influencers and to try to gauge and try to cultivate what you're supposed to feel.
Well, once they get a taste of that candy, you understand? Somebody sends a little box to their house. I see people get an Xbox One X to their house, and I'm like, wow. Now I can't trust you anymore. You're part of them.
What I would say is just try to have access to as many different viewpoints on a game as possible.
And just like Lil B Money say, he's just looking at them. He's going on just to get impressions. He has a usual idea of whether he's interested or not. And he's just using the different sources for.
I feel like that's the case for majority of the hardcore. Like only casuals get tricked with this shit.
Yeah.
So how is it a trick if a guy show you the syringe?
I'm done.
Not a trick. It's just you just choose to just suck it up and say, yeah, I'm about to cheat in life.
I mean, but when have I ever condoned it?
No, I'm not saying that you're condoning it. No, I'm not saying that you're condoning it. And actually, I'm defending you. I'm defending your hard work, your blood, your sweat, your tears. So don't ever think that I'm saying you're condoning that, because if you were condoning that, you would have got his cheat code. You would have cheat tweeted him and you would have got it.
Remember the Metal Gear Solid on 5BS where they went to review boot camps, got 40 hours, used cheats, didn't play chapter 2, but they was giving it 10 out of 10s. Yo, remember that? He's right. Yo, Lord Anchor's right. I forgot about that. There's so much dirt in this shit, man.
That entire reviewing scenario is corrupted. Like everything is. Like, you know,
because people got their hand in people's pocket.
Yeah, we see people legitimately, you know, lying about them playing a full game. I mean, we're talking about like people who get paid to do this for a living. And when it comes down to it, it's like, look, like, you know, Did hip hop do what was right? No, it wasn't. But we got way worse things in this industry than hip hop gang or cheating on Cuphead.
But that's not the topic of this segment.
Oh my God.
The topic of this segment is cheating. So he cheated.
The topic of this segment is reviewer's skill, my friend.
Exactly. So he was reviewing it, and his skill was subpar, and he took a performance enhancer, and that's not okay.
I'm hitting them up now. Y'all savage right now. But that's all I got on it. We're gonna definitely get shout out to Lord Cheap Time in the chat. Thanks for coming through, baby. Yeah, we definitely gonna get hip hop back on the show because we want him to defend himself. Lord King has called him out on the carpet.
That's gonna have to be one of those. Yeah,
that's gonna be a paper.
No, right, I'm gonna take the gloves off this time. I'm not gonna let him walk in the streets all cool.
No, we're gonna have when we get hip hop, Lord Hip Hop back on, we're gonna have a topic in called Lord King versus Lord Hip Hop, and we ain't gonna talk. We're just gonna let them go at it.
That ain't no topic. I didn't take no performance enhancers. My record is clean.
Not
a topic.
And on that note, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Lord King. Rightfully so, you are up. Talk about what's going on in the ComicCon streets, right? What's going on?
Hey guys, this week the King went to ComicCon, and I gotta whatchamacallit, like, you know, a friend of mine, he came on the dire straits. He couldn't get the time off from work, and he purchased some tickets. So, you know, and he needed help. I didn't have no plans on going to Comic-Con, so I said, you know, I'll purchase the tickets from you. And, you know, it's a big strenuous thing because it's tied to your email and your ID and all this other stuff. And, you know, he finally got him switched over to my name or whatever. And, you know, I took my kids to Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. So I've never been to Comic-Con, and it was one of my things on my bucket list, like E3 was. Mm-hmm. Now, the first time I went to E3, it was magical. It was like Disney World for a child, to be honest with you, and it was the greatest experience ever. Shout out to Microsoft for having FanFest that took it to the next level, like my E3 experience to the next level. And then again, shout out this year for Microsoft for saving my E3 experience, because this year they opened it up to the public. And I'm adverse to that because of what I'm going to talk about next. I got to Comic-Con, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to go. And I'm seeing everybody walking in with their cosplay suits, and they're looking nice. And not so many people with cosplay suits, but, you know, you can come and you can feel at home, and there's no judgment. You know, if you're fat and you're Deadpool, you're just a fat Deadpool. If you're too skinny and you are Venom, you're just a skinny Venom, you know, and it's wonderful to see people comfortable and being accepted at that point. Now, the show. When you walk in the door, I want to tell you, everybody have your M's up, your ones, your M's. Make sure your bank account is up to par. Go check your bank account. Make sure that you have enough money to spend. All right, I would suggest before you go to Comic-Con,
Lord King at Comic-Con probably spent what it cost for my whole year's rent.
No. And I'm going to tell you why. No. You must save from last year's Comic-Con to this year's Comic-Con. I would say at $100 a week to be able to enjoy yourself. Okay? When you walk in the door, it's like a swap meet. It is literally a swap meet with every comic book peddler in the world there selling his old comic books for this price or that price. T-shirts by abundance at hiked up prices. Everything has got that extra price tag price on top of it. There's nothing free to be given there. Like when you go to E3, you get a free bag. When you know how we walked in, Attic, they gave you bags that you just take it. And you're like, oh man, thanks. I could put some free stuff inside here that I'm gonna get because I know when I leave this place, I'm gonna have so much free stuff because I paid to get in here. I didn't pay to play. This is what this is. Comic-Con is pay to play. Everyone is selling you something. Like, what are you gonna give me, bro? No, but we got a new book here that just came out by this author that who's really good. And if you buy it, well, how much is it, bro? Oh, that's $25, bro.
Wow.
What is going on with you guys? So I'm looking at these guys like they have 3 heads. We went around the whole place, and my kids is walking around, mind you, looking at this place like it's cool. But they're like, where's the free stuff? Like, where's the free stuff, Daddy? Like, let's get the juices flowing. Let's get a shirt. Let's. There's nothing to do there but walk around and go to people's stands and let them peddle you some wares. That's it. Peddle you some wares, and you may walk past Iron Man, some guy in Iron Man suit that did the nice little Iron Man suit, and you take a picture with him. If it's not for these cosplay dudes, and these cosplay dudes need to get paid, they should pay them as they walk in the door. These cosplays
are amazing that people are coming up at these shows.
When they walk in the door, if you're in a costume, you should come in free, and they should give you $50. That's what they should do. Because y'all see the stuff on TV. If you've never been there and you say, "Oh my God, it looks so amazing! Like they're having so much fun in there." Oh my God, this guy's is like one giant Halloween. It's not. It's not. Every time you turn around, somebody's digging in your pocket for something.
Asking you something.
Yes, and it's such a shame that it broke my heart. It broke my heart, honestly, because I see the future of E3.
Oh, don't say that. Don't scare me up. Don't say that. Look.
Okay.
Damn.
Last year.
You feel that way?
Yes, because last year, did we see that giant wall of T-shirts? Did anybody see the giant wall of T-shirts at E3 this year?
Yeah,
you saw it, right? Did you see it last year?
Remember, Lord Cognito, you hit up what's his name about pick them up. So the material was nice. And...
Yeah. That's true.
So, did you see it last year?
No.
I don't recall.
No. It became when it was free to the public, when the public was able to come inside, they had to purchase tickets. That's when they said, we're going to peddle these things to them. Our free stuff dropped and the purchase stuff went up. I had to purchase swag this year at E3. My thing to you guys is it appealing to you that they hide ComicCon under the guys and they're saying that panel guys are going to be there like Robert Downey Jr. will be here this day to talk about his thing in Iron Man. And these guys are not there long. Some panels run long, and there's no space there for you to sit down. So it's really standing.
You have to stand the whole time. Shout out to Lord Cowboys. He's right. I've been to one, and those panels, when those celebs are there, that line is around the corner, it's long. And you're right. Yeah,
shout out to Lord Kaibatsu for saying that the panel that I showed with Black Panther and Spider-Man is called Marvel Live. Marvel Live has a show that will be on, it's like a Broadway show where they have stuntmen and everybody fighting. So they were showing, again, they were peddling wares to you. Because right after they finished with their little flipping around, all that, they said, listen, you can go right now to purchase tickets at such and such and such and such and get yourself in there. Not here's a ticket for half off for everybody who attend today. Not here's a free ticket for no. Hey.
Now let me ask you this before we get into the rest of it. Like, do you feel like what do you want them to do? Like, what do you think needs to obviously with the peddling wares, we know like you're not a fan of that, them trying to sell you something every 5 minutes. I get that. Like, but like what do you think is incentive for them to do besides the hitting off the cosplay people? Like to make it more appealing to you or people going to Comic-Con versus E3?
I'm never going back because I don't ever see a way of redemption from them. Because it's at such a fever pitch that these individuals, they're able to, they feel a part of something, right? And it's the cosplay people. They should have cosplay con. They actually should. And you would take that away from Comic-Con and there won't be anything there. And we sell comic books and we sell books and we sell t-shirts and light up hats. There was actually a painting there of DC Universe, whatever. The painting, if you notice, I posted it on Facebook and Twitter. $25 grand. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you selling this to?
Little Johnny? That's not for Little Johnny?
That's not funny. Yo, they had a $20 limit. I imposed a $20 limit.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't buy $20 worth of anything. They didn't see anything that they said that was worth that $20. I spent $20 on some Submariner comic books that were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's at a point where I felt that same little feeling that I felt at E3 this year.
Mm.
We take the time out, we come to your venue. You don't give us anything, but you want us to promote your venue. And there's nothing but buy this, and you attended it. It's an elitist, super elitist status that I've never seen any place before. Nothing. I get business cards. That's what I got for free. Business cards.
Wow. All right, Lord, what do we feel about this? I know I got a lot to say afterwards.
I pass.
All right, Lord Saul.
I think, yeah, we knew this sort of stuff was coming. Like last E3 was my first E3, but it being the first one with the public in there, you knew they were going to try to find ways to market merch and stuff like that. You knew that you were going to see more of that. You're going to see more, food vendors, whatever the case may be. It's just if you want to keep E3 as big as it is and not have the companies complaining about the amount of money they have to spend to promote there, to be there, this is the sort of stuff that's going to happen. Like when you look at ComicCon and when you look at something like PAX, these have always been more fan-friendly sort of events and more geared towards the fans. So when you walk through that door, you're going to see is people, small people, small companies, whatever, peddling their wares. That's what it is, because it's for quote-unquote fans. All the big stuff that you're going to see there, particularly like at a Comic-Con, it's like you said, it's panels and stuff like that. Beyond that, just walking around the showroom floor, all you're going to see is people trying to sell you stuff. You're not going to see, like at E3. At E3, the whole purpose of the show floor is for you to go to each individual, developer or publisher. You go to their kiosk or whatever, and you'll be able to at least see their games, if not play their games. So it's different. Like you go to each thing, and the expectation is you're going to see something new that you haven't seen before, or that you've been wanting to see. Whereas Comic-Con, everything that you really want to see is going to be really packed. It's going to be really isolated from everything else. And and you're going to have to suffer to be able to see it. Yeah. Beyond that, all you're going to get is people trying to sell you stuff, because it's where people where smaller companies and things like that go to be able to peddle their wares, because it's quote unquote fan stuff. The same thing happens at PAX. So, I mean, you're going to see more of it at E3. Depending on what they do with E3 this year, if they decide to go back to a closed state, which I don't think they will, you're just going to see more of that.
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick. I mean, I definitely feel what Lord King's saying about, like, I went to, was it WizardCon? I didn't go to the New York one, but I went to WizardCon, was like Philly or whatever it was. And outside of the fact that like they had like a Tekken 7 tournament, which was the reason why I went, because this was like before Tekken 7 was actually released, and I wanted to get a feel of the game, so I did the drive down there, whatever, to go check it out. And then, like he's saying, it's like I was very underwhelmed. It was just like a whole bunch of, like you said, like a swap meet. Like there's a whole bunch of people selling you stuff. There's little setup areas to buy stuff. As far as fan service and stuff, the stuff that you would care about, like, okay, like the actors or, this person from this movie, anything to do with Marvel, them lines were crazy. The lines were crazy, like around the, really long, people standing, that kind of stuff. They had the food court, but it's like, unless you're really a connoisseur of trying to buy, like maybe an older, like you said, like King said, like an older comic book and stuff like that, or, certain things, but even to see people, who may not be like A-list, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out, you had Ted DiBiase was in the building. They're like, yo, you can't even take a picture. You can't do this. Like, it just seems.
I was blatantly disrespectful. I was blatantly disrespectful. They said you can't take a picture, and I said, the hell with you. I paid money to get in here. Ted, what's up, baby? He put his head down. Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it does seem, Comic-Con feels overly monetized.
Right.
Like that was the vibe. Now, in their defense, the real one I hear is San Diego Comic-Con. Like I hear that's the one. You know what I'm saying? So I want to give it one last shot, if we get the ability to go there, cow. But
that's the only way I'm going.
I definitely want to do that. Definitely want to see it in its glory, because that's where like all the big announcements, the new Avengers, you get the timeline, you get all the secrets drop. You know what I'm saying? Like
trailers.
Yeah, trailers. Like that's what I want to see, and that's what I want to give it down. Now, as far as E3, I seen a little bit of the creep in, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, with them making it public last year or whatever, there's definitely a change that I can attest. The difference between 2017 E3 and 2016, there was a difference. You know what I'm saying? And I think with them is they need to figure out a way to give the people who are actually in the industry some type of early access or data themselves to, either separate that, because it was kind of madness. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what I got on it. I know Lord Attic, he said he's sitting this one out. But that's pretty much where I'm at with it. E3 is definitely better than ComicCon. I just hope that E3 doesn't go that route of overly monetizing everything. Like that would suck.
Yeah, totally frightful.
Yeah. So that's what I got. So looks like we got 2 polls kicking up before we end the show. Because I had one, but you guys actually came up with a good one. You know what I'm saying? So your one, let's start with your one. You guys want to talk about the Loot Crate situation as far as like people, are they still going to buy it regardless? Is that what we're rolling with? What we rolling with?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna throw 2 up. We're gonna do it because I had one too, and it was basically it was in reference to the Civil War as well, and being that we missed the last week, so we'll definitely get a both up. And the question will be, do we feel Bungie has over casualized the game and the day-to-day activities of Destiny 2 at the expense of the hardcore fan base? A, yes, Bungie just turned their back on the hardcore base with no real grind and end game to keep playing. Or B, no, Destiny 2 is better, more accessible, fun for the masses now than Destiny 1 ever was. So we're going to have 2 polls up. We're going to have that Loot Crate in the building as well. Please rock the vote. Hit them Twitter polls when it goes up. You know what I'm saying? So Lord Attic, Lord King affectionately calls the Lord of Sleep. Where can 5 people find you? And do we got any more Cuphead streams going? No.
Not today. I'm going back to bed.
Like
after I woke up and I realized I was like 40-some minutes late for the podcast, I was like, I should just go back to bed. Like, but I made myself get up. But I mean, I might do one when I wake up. That's if I go back to bed. I think I'll eat something before I go back to bed. I'm on the dice, dude. I've already, like, how the dice dude works is he does kind of like a roulette table, if you will, and he's got mini bosses for every slot. So you can be fighting 5 or 6 people before you fight the dice dude. So,
wow,
it's whatever. For the most part, all of his little mini bosses they're not that hard. They're a bunch of punks. But
look at that, man. All with no performance enhancers, half sleep, getting it in.
I'm done.
Look at
I'm
that.
done.
Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you for working hard.
And shout out to the guy who beat Cuphead using a DDR pad. That's ridiculous.
What?
Wow.
I didn't even know about that.
Using a DDR pad. Yep.
You mean he did it with a DDR pad and did not put in a cheat code?
No, not at all.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
One hand behind his back, dude.
But definitely follow me on Twitter. My gamer tag off on PSN and Xbox is Room to Kill. Thanks for all coming. We definitely like the podcast if you don't mind. And I'm out.
No doubt. Lord Sovereign, where can the people find you?
Hey, and the 5 people can actually find me online. On PSN and Xbox Live. I know, man. I've been there.
Playing Destiny. He might be in your fire team, y'all.
Jumping in this raid right now.
I wish I could, but wifey's folding that. But that's that. But they can find me on PSN and Xbox Live at BX Sovereign and Lord Sob ILP on Twitter.
You definitely are running out of time before reset now, though. So
I know. Yeah, I know.
No doubt, Lord King. Where can the people find you?
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, PlayStation Nation. Oh man, almost forgot. Sad day in PlayStation Nation. I'm selling one of my pros and that VR crap.
The VR, the king of VR is selling VR. What's this?
I'm selling the PlayStation VR crap because I just saw them. You know, they undercut me, bro. They came out with a whole new system. And let me tell you something. One of the biggest deterrents with the PlayStation VR right now is when you're loading it up, and if you have to do an HDR bypass, you have to load up in safe mode. And it distracts heavily from you wanting to play the game and getting into it. You got to constantly reboot your system. That's why it's linked to my 1080p television. Listen, they're done. I'm gonna just stay with PC's VR. They have shown me that they're willing to just they didn't even give you a program, ship your old crap back in, and we take off $100 or whatever, $150, and give you the new joint to keep you here because you helped us go forward. No, Sony did what Sony does, and you know what? Lord Cognito told me I'm an idiot. I went in Bo Peep first, and I'm selling it first. Yeah, but what's happening is now I'm selling a pro system. Yeah. With an extra controller.
You selling your pro?
Yeah, I'm selling a pro.
Oh, I might have to get it on.
Oh, come and get that.
What's the price? We might have to talk about
it. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you put that out to the masses?
The pro got to go to VR, all those VR games, everything. I got everything. It's gone. I gave you a chance. I'm sorry. You pissed me off.
Yeah, they had no business doing that. How do you release a new headset that it's the same power, just some cosmetic changes?
Might have just killed their VR.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, that's a bad luck. You can't do that. You can't do. Yeah. Of course, it is Lord Cognito here, spending that game Rennis on the ILP. You know what I'm saying? So, first of all, shout out to the chat today. It was extremely loud. Shout out. First of all, I want to shout out Fame. He gave us a big shout out just now. Fame and the Canis, our brothers from 2XP Podcast, just gave us a big shout out right now. We really appreciate the love and support. Please hit that like and subscribe to everyone that's on these ILP and the Inner Circle Media Network outlets. Also the YouTubes, the iTunes, the Google Plays, all that's going to be up. And of course, that amazing TickGN Patreon. We got that popping. Please support. We out here giving y'all good content. You know what I mean? A lot of fun, and we really appreciate it. So make sure you do that. And like I said, the polls are going to be up. We're going to have those rocking. We got some stuff cooking. I can't get into it, but some special stuff cooking in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully you guys will be really excited for it, and we really appreciate you guys rocking with us. And on that note, we're about to end this thing. Peace.